wind is light, the sky is blue. My heart is heavy when I don't have you, and I miss you like a parched land misses rain. A camp on the land, a boat on the sea. Life ain't life if you can't be free to live it. You'll always find a way. 40 hours a work week were never meant for me. Lately I've been bitten by the bug that sets us free. Wilderness wandering and ocean waves are calling. Standing in a forest you can hear when trees are falling. Oh, 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 this is free. Oh, 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 free to be.
Shio. Good morning, Östersjön and Ali. We are here on a beautiful Sunday morning, the first day of the week. At my tanning area. I wanted just to do a quick update on that and show you exactly what it is that we do here at Taylor's Authentic Traditions. So come along. Alright, so the first step in tanning is actually soaking a hide. So what you're going to see down in this water, there's obviously algae built up in this water, but that is actually a deer hide. And this hide has been soaking for a little while, probably, almost 2 weeks now. It's colder weather, and when it's cold like this, the hair doesn't want to slip. And when I say hair slip, it means I can pull the hide up out of the water, and the hair will actually come out like this. This hide is probably about ready to pull up out of the water. It's just simply weighed down by stones in the water, and the water is coming up from this way and running down and out that way. There's another hide here. As you can see, it's soaking. Again, the algae is built up on there, so can't quite see. You might think, oh, that's just a big block of algae, but no, that's actually, see that hair coming right out? This hide is 100% ready, and that hair is so loose that it's actually pulled the membrane layer off with the hair follicles. That is going to be a really, really, really easy hide to work once I get it out. Nice, beautiful flock of geese flying overhead there. When you're tanning hides, the first thing you're going to do is flesh a hide. This is an oak fleshing beam. I bought this one, didn't make this one, but you don't have to have oak. You don't need to buy this one. You can simply go out and gather a nice round, probably 6 inches wide at least minimum, tree, and that's need to be smooth and no burrs so you can work your hides. Behind it is again just another stretcher for coyotes and whatnot. You get your hide wet, and I'll show you this in another video. After your hide is soaking in your solution, ringing rack. This ringing rack, again, just 2 Y posts with a brace over across of it, and it's just simply, you use a long elongated stick, you lay your hide there, and you roll that hide up kind of into a donut, and I can show you that method sometime, and then you basically ring it out on that rack. Okay, coming over here, this is just simply a post that's in the ground, and I have cut a double bevel angle on that, and I call this basically a breaking pole. And this breaking pole I utilize to help stretch open the hide and break open the fibers. It's my frames, and on these frames there's just simply 2 Y posts in the ground, and then with that there's a brace that runs across, and then leaning up on those are 2 frames. The first frame you see here is for elk and bison. It is a 10-foot by 14-foot setup on that, and this allows me to be able to tan very large hides. The second frame that you see here is made out of cedar. This was actually recycled cedar split rails somebody had, and they're just going to kind of burn, so I figured I was going to gather these and produce a good quality lightweight frame for deer. Served me really well. Those are my frames, and you might see me using these in some of my videos for sure. You've definitely seen this one here out of cedar. So this is actually what I work when I'm frame softening. This is a recycled axe handle. There's an axe I had with the head that was partially broken. This part comes into the bottom of my hand, and the end of the axe is what I frame soften. For softening, I use a lariat, 1/2 inch to 5/8 inch diameter, and I just keep this attached onto my frame rack post. This is automatically on there on the lariat, so that's going to tighten up once I put the hide in here, and then I just secure it on the bottom by a knot. I threw some T25 screws in there. A person, if they didn't want to do that, could simply bore out a hole with some embers, carve some wooden hardwood dowels and beat those in. And that's just simply when I'm starting to put pressure on this and I'm working the hide back and forth, that, you know, this rope isn't actually going to come up on the pole. Okay, and moving along. Okay, what you're looking at here is a smoking tripod. These are just Eastern poplar. They're lightweight, they're easy to move around, and tied in a tripod fashion to secure my hides for smoking. And I have here just a common dead piece of wood that was a hardwood, and I attach my hides to 2 pieces of string. This is a recycled kerosene housing that I had recycled from a scrap yard. It was free, so I gathered that. It's absolutely perfect. There's a little door here on the bottom that opens up. I don't really use that unless I need to accelerate the airflow. Otherwise, I keep it closed. And so it's perfect for that. What you're looking at here, this is an old one that I had. When I cut holes in my hide on the outer rim so I can lace them onto my frame, I'll stick this underneath there and I'll make a slice. And again, I kind of moved away from that and just went to the straight stick. I just kind of keep this around just because it's kind of handy. I could hold it with this hand and then lay the hide, and with my other hand I could make the incision on the perimeter of the hide. So kind of just kept it around. Underneath this tarp I keep punky wood that I gather year round, and I use all sorts of punky wood and I experiment with different colorations. I've even used dried cow or buffalo dung. Albeit the mainstream thinking, buffalo chips were commonly used by both indigenous tribes of the plains and settlers upon arrival, learning this method from the indigenous inhabitants of the plains. Buffalo chips were commonly utilized when wood was not available or when in scarcity. Buffalo chips were commonly used for heating, smoking, and cooking. It's got to be good and dry. It gives a good, nice smoke color. And here is an example of the punky wood. Punky wood is basically wood that's rotten, and you'll find punky wood that is kind of just sitting in the woods, and you can literally take this wood and it just breaks apart into these little tiny fibers. And the reason we keep it underneath this tarp is when wood is wet, you would think, well, that's going to put off a good amount of smoke, but it also puts a lot of amount of moisture into the hides, which is not what we want. So we're trying to attain nice dry wood, and that's why the reason we keep it outside to where it can be dry, but also keep it under this tarp to keep the weather off of it. And again, this is a lighter color versus you get something like this that's really dark. The darker color punk seems to give off a much nicer, darker color to the hides. Behind that, you see a 100-gallon plastic tank. Don't really use that too much. That was gifted to me by a good friend and mentor, Larry Baylitz, owner of Sioux Replications. I mainly soak my hides in flowing, free-moving water. It does take longer to soak your hides in free-moving water, as your hide is contained in a container. The bacteria builds up a lot quicker, therefore permitting the release of the hair and the swelling of the membrane and the hide in general much faster than it does in free-flowing water. The water's cool, it's winter, so it does take a lot longer for the hair to start slipping, whereas in summer you're going to have a lot more hair slippage within a fewer amount of days. But generally that 100-gallon tank would be used for soaking bison or elk. All right, well, that's about it for my setup here. Pretty simple setup, really. I hope you like this video. Stay tuned if you'd like to see more, definitely more content on the way. Going to be producing a lot more videos coming soon. Let me know what you'd like to see. We'd love to shoot it for you. Really appreciate everybody and your positive words and your positive feedback. Look forward to working with you and doing more. Till next time, Danadogahi. Please be sure to check out our authentic 17th century turkey feather roach on our YouTube channel, store, or Etsy. This turkey feather roach can be worn in conjunction with our Eastern Woodlands flat roach. This turkey feather roach is sustainably harvested from wild turkeys that have either been hit by a vehicle or donated by friends and family. This turkey feather roach can be yours and added to your authentic regalia lineup today.